Hi, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Melissa. I am the owner of stronghealer.com. And today we are talking about the throat chakra. It is the fifth chakra in my chakra series. So if you're just now tuning in, you may want to scroll back to the root chakra or the chakra consciousnesses so that you can understand what we will be discussing when I go over each chakra in detail. Today is the throat chakra, and in Sanskrit, this is Vishuddha, and it means purification. So if you've been following along already, you can kind of see the natural growth of each chakra and how they develop. And when you're in the heart chakra space and you're able to get to that unconditional love, where you are able to unconditionally love yourself and accept yourself exactly who you are, then you are able to do that for others, being unconditionally loving of people, regardless of their circumstance. So to be able to be in that space is, like Jesus mode, Buddha mode, you know what I mean? But what is something that those guys did? They took it to the next level. The throat chakra is all about truth, communication, integrity, willpower, creative expression. So these are people that stood up. They were advocates of the truth, and their integrity and willpower was so strong. That's why they were people that you wanted to use as a role model for the most pure essence of spirit, because that's exactly who they were. And, they also ascended each level. So when you come into the power of the throat chakra, this is where you are able to express your feelings, not suppress them, where you are able to demonstrate your willpower and your integrity through your actions. And the organs that are associated with the throat chakra are pretty much everything you see here in the throat, including the mouth and ears. They say the throat chakra is the mouth of God. The words of the divine and angels and, whatever it is that you believe in that whisper into your ear, your higher self, the exalted aspect of your spirit, when they speak through your ears, then you are able to interpret their word and express it. So if they're coming in and they're telling you, hey, go take a walk, hey, drink water, and you don't listen to that, how do you expect to get bigger and higher messages from spirit? You first have to start trying to obey the simple things so that you can ascend to the higher levels. The gland that is associated with the throat chakra is the thyroid gland, and that is in charge of cellular metabolism. So it's everything to do with breaking down the nutrients, the food that you eat, and it's also in charge of breaking down cells and rebuilding cells. So it's going to be part of how you rebuild muscle when you exert yourself. It's also in charge of the different time periods in your life when you have growth spurts. So it's in charge of telling the body when that is supposed to happen. When there's like dysfunctions in the throat chakra, you're going to see things like a sore throat, TMJ, gum problems, swimmer's ear, and problems with the neck, the bones in the neck. So activities that you can do to help bring this chakra back into balance would be things like the Alexander technique, which is pretty much like mindfulness of the body, what your posture is like, and how to, self-correct, and yoga, cranial sacral therapy, of course, meditation, qigong, tai chi, dancing, singing, chanting, fasting, silent retreats, keeping a journal, public speaking. These are all activities of the throat chakra that help to fortify it, help it to gain strength in being able to express your truth, to not be shy about it or feel like no one's listening. Even if you think no one's listening, standing up for your right, for your values, for your beliefs, it's huge for the spirit. Think about our greatest teachers and what they went through in the beginning. I'm sure plenty of them had a lot of pushback in the beginning, but if it's something that is true and pure for the spirit, there's going to be people that want to follow that way of life. So don't be shy to speak up for something that you believe in, because you could be supporting something that is, the divine purpose. This is also an area where you start to recognize and express your divine truth, your divine purpose, your divine path. And how you live and express energy pretty much indicates how much energy you have. And if you are someone who is constantly not speaking up, not saying the thing, then you are blocking the lower chakras of moving that energy upwards. So then you start to weaken everything that's below that area and block it from being able to move forward. So it's really important that you stand your ground, stand up for what you believe in. Don't be shy and worry of being like ashamed for what you have to say, or that something scary is going to happen when you speak up for yourself. The more that you're able to do that, you're going to find yourself in situations that you will be able to handle. As an example, for me from the beginning, I was in a verbally abusive relationship in my late teens, and you learn to grow out of that. So this is the darkest, part of the the bottom end of suppressing how you feel, because everything was a threat. And then you keep moving out of that into stronger, more integral relationships, to the point to where I'm with somebody that arguments aren't screaming matches. They are literally just discussions. So to be in that position is it's such a blessing. And I know it's really hard for people to get to that point, to feel like they don't have to scream to be heard. It could be, sometimes it doesn't necessarily always have to be something that is public. Keeping a journal and writing your feelings out is very empowering for the spirit. So don't think you have to make an announcement to the world. You might be the first drop in the evolution of that thing that you advocate for. The age of resonance for this chakra tends to be between the age of 35 to 42. And during that time of your life, you pretty much know what you want, and you have very strong and clear boundaries of what you expect in your life, how to be treated and how you treat other people. So this is very much a time where you really start to speak up for yourself and not play with the BS, and you're ready to settle down and have a life that really works for you. Let's move on to the archetypes of the throat chakra. And the positive archetype is the communicator. So this is someone who means what they say. They don't say yes when they mean no. They live in their integrity, and they're somebody that is trustworthy. Their actions match their words. The negative archetype is the silent child. This is someone who has unexpressed feelings and suppressed emotions. They do not communicate how they feel. It is a threat if they do. So if you still have these little hidden behaviors, even if they're not so big, but you recognize how often you bite your tongue and not speak up for yourself, this is a good indication that there's a little bit of healing to do for the throat chakra. Positive affirmations that you can have for the throat chakra are, I'm going to read those off. And as I always say, keep what you like, throw away what you don't. I live in my truth. I communicate my truth. I am the truth. Communicating is vital to my well-being. I love to share my experience and tell my truth. I listen to the truth of others. I share my truth honestly. My willpower is aligned with my spiritual purpose in life. I develop will each time I meet a life challenge. I express my truth as creatively as possible. I communicate with those who open their hearts to me. I learn to listen to myself and trust my inner voice. I develop my integrity each time I tell the truth. My integrity is my word, and my word is my truth. My communication comes from my deep center. I express my goodness each time I speak. My spirit rests in peace and silence. I trust the whisper of angels' voices as I sit in silence. I share my feelings with ease and comfort. I communicate what is so for me without projecting my truth onto others. The Sanskrit mantra for truth and creativity is Om Shakini Namaha. And it means I activate my creativity. The centering thought for this mantra or in meditation for the throat chakra is my life energy expresses the truth. So a few other things that I want to touch on real quick are when the throat chakra is in dysfunction and you find yourself lying, manipulating, gossiping, or consuming substances that pass through the throat chakra that are not healthy for the body. Those are activities that are not helpful to the throat chakra. So this whole mindfulness and standing in your integrity and having willpower is the next level up from the heart chakra. So while you recognize and love people as they are, the way they are, the good, the bad, the ugly, now can you start to purify your words and actions? So this is where the throat chakra is developed to help you to ascend spiritually as you're working up those energy fields. And now I'm going to discuss the crystals that you can use in meditation for the throat chakra. And I have Amazonite in my shop. This is the middle bracelet, and it's all about self-esteem and being able to like step up and stand out like the Amazon woman, where it's like big energy. You are not afraid to be who you are, say what you believe in, and stand your ground. So it's a bit adventurous, big energy, self-esteem. Yeah, not to be afraid of being yourself. Then we have azurite. This is azurite with malachite. And this will help you to have willingness to see and express the truth. So if you're someone who's afraid of accepting people as they are, situations as they are, that will be a stone to help you get to the root of it and be able to let it go. See the truth of it and process it better. And chrysocolla, this is going to help artists of any kind, literally artists of any kind, and helping to open bottled emotions and also protect you from people who try to cross boundaries. On this side, I have kyanite. Kyanite is a very protective stone. It's going to help you clear communication so that there's no like misunderstandings. You can resolve conflict with this stone. And then chalcedony is the speaker's stone, and it helps to release doubt and help you gain willpower. And then topaz. It is a stone of self-esteem. It's going to help you have the courage to overcome your limitations. So if you have any addictions, it's going to help with that. And the other one is aquamarine. This is also known as like the traveler stone. So it helps to keep you protected. But if you want to be able to hear the truth from higher dimensions, wow, I almost heard like wings flapping when I put this by my ear, that you can hear those higher truths from the higher dimensions using aquamarine. I have some blue aragonite. So if you have suppressed anger that you would like to calm down but be able to express and get out of your body so it's not stored and causing dysfunction, I would recommend some blue aragonite. And just to show off something pretty, this is some Russian Amazonite. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch the flash on it. Got flash on both sides, super pretty. You can check out my store, stronghealer.com. I have all of those beauties in there. And I would love if you could subscribe, drop a comment, like, share, do all the things, sign up for my newsletter. I send out 2 emails a week on Tuesday and Friday if you're into that kind of thing. I do little spiritual messages, explanation of crystals, sales, all the fun stuff. So if you like to stay in touch, sign up for my newsletter and the rewards program because you can earn points for coupons. So anyway, we will talk soon and see you next week. Love you. Bye.